All right. So we'll start with the peace chants. Yes. Let's do it together. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may the all-pervading spirit protect us. May the all-pervading spirit nourish us. May we work together with great energy. May our study be illuminating. May love and harmony dwell among us. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. So we are reading Katha Upanishad. We have seen so far that Nachiketa was offered by king of death 3 boons, and Nachiketa, as a first boon, he chose that let my father be at peace. Second boon was tell me about the fire ritual that takes one to heaven. And third one was tell me what happens after death. That is, whether anything else survives the death, or we are just what meets our eyes, that is this body. Is it the death of the body? Is the death of the being or not? This is the third question. He chose that answer to this question is the third boon. Then we found that Yama initially tried to discourage Nachiketa and tried to distract him. Okay, so he said, this is a difficult question. About this there are a lot of doubts, and this what you have asked, answer is not also very easy to grasp. It is very subtle and therefore not easily understood. You ask something else, Nachiketa. Nachiketa says, no, since it is very difficult subject and we cannot, and people had doubts in the past, so since you are here, I will not get this opportunity again to hear about this truth. So I don't want anything else. So Yama then accelerates or amplifies his alludes. He says that, okay, ask whatever wealth you want, ask as much as gold, cows, that is animals, that was the currency at that time. Ask as much as if you want. Then your children, grandchildren, they will have long life. Ask for that. If you want to rule over some areas, tell me, I shall make you a king. And not only that, I can make you a king of a vast areas. Okay. Then I can also provide you with such pleasures which are not available in the world, which are available only in the heaven. Such things I can give you. Not only that, I shall also see that you can enjoy all of this. Okay. It is not that you only have them, but also you can enjoy all of this. I can make it happen. Or finally, Yama says, ask anything you like. Chandataha prarthayata. That is your own condition. Now you ask quality, quantity of things and all kind of joys or pleasures you ask. It is your free hand. I am giving you a free hand. Ask any of these things. But Nachiketa remains unperturbed in his quest for this question. as I said, Shankaracharya remarks that Nachiketa stands still there, calm, quiet, like a a vast lake which is not moved so much by the winds. Similarly, Nachiketa, all of these offers, all of these allures could not move Nachiketa. Nachiketa stood still. What Nachiketa says in answer to all of this, very interesting. Let's take a look. How Nachiketa not only rejects all of this, but Nachiketa gives reason for why he does not want all of this. This is something important because we think vairagya or dispassion will come on its own. That, suddenly after going through all of these experiences, somehow in our mind will come a some time when we will be no more interested in all these worldly things. Then only dispassion or vairagya will arise. But Nachiketa shows that no, you need not have to. Nachiketa did not have experience of any of these pleasures, did not have what he was offered. Okay. But he reflected upon and used his good judgment over it. So this is called viveka. Okay, viveka. That viveka not only does not mean what is real and unreal, what is permanent, what is impermanent, what is spiritual, what is non-spiritual, but viveka means also right kind of thinking. So right kind of thinking can also bring desirable amount of dispassion for the world. Okay, it is not that, oh, I am disgusted with all of this, I don't want, but sometimes thinking, clarity of thinking also can bring dispassion for many things of the world. That is what Nachiketa shows here. This is the important thing to notice, that Nachiketa refutes all these allures, all these offers with logic, why he is not after them. Okay, let's look at it. What are the logics Nachiketa provides for not accepting any of these lucrative offers? The first thing he says is śvaḥ-bhāvāḥ martyasya yat antaka etat sarvaiḥ indriyāṇām jarayaṁti tejaḥ opi sarvam jīvitam alpam tava vāḥāḥ tava nṛtya-gīte. So Nachiketa says that what lasts only until tomorrow, or death, belongs to the mortal and wears out the strength of the senses. Even the whole span of life is short indeed. So let your chariots, your dance, and your music remain with you. So if you remember, it was the last offer that Yama made, that you take these celestial nymphs who are expert in music and instruments, who can always entertain you with celestial music and with their beauty, all of this. So what Nachiketa says, all of this, all these beautiful nymphs and the chariots they are moving in, and all they are singing and dancing, let it remain with you. I don't want any of this. So Nachiketa gives three logics here, right? First of all is this transitory nature of pleasures. He says that it śvaḥ-bhāvāḥ. Interesting word, śvaḥ. The word śvaḥ means tomorrow. Bhāvāḥ means they remain. So all of these that you are offering are transient of nature. They exist only until tomorrow. So it's until tomorrow means it's a metaphor for impermanence. It cannot be uh, permanent. And whatever joys or pleasures which are offered to a mortal, that is a being who is body bound, um, they are these enjoyments are all bound by time, and they will be done tomorrow. They are here and they will be gone tomorrow. That is one thing. Śvaḥ-bhāvāḥ. Śvaḥ-bhāvāḥ. Interestingly, there is a huge plant in India. In English, it is called the people tree. In Sanskrit, it is called ashwatthva. Ashwatha. Ashwatha is a plant which grows huge, very large foliage area. It also sends roots from its branches, which goes down, secondary roots. Anyway, ashwatha is one of the very long-lived trees in the South Asian continent, South Asia. But they may live 400, 500, 600 years. But the name itself means ashwatha. Even this tree will not remain tomorrow. Such a long-lived tree, which lives, in comparison to us, it may appear to be such a long-lived tree, that also will not stay tomorrow. Ashwatha. Okay. So that is the point. So Nachiketa is saying, śvaḥ-bhāvāḥ. These things will remain only till tomorrow. Then, second thing he says, they wear out the power of all the senses. Jarayaṁti tejaḥ. So, far from enhancing these pleasures, indulging in pleasures deplete our vitality. Indulgence leads to exhaustion, and so our tejas, the overall energy, mental energy that is available to us, that is depleted if we indulge in the sense pleasures. Jarayaṁti, they wear down, they corrodes. All the things of the world in Sanskrit is called vishaya, vishaya. And they say that another one reason it is called vishaya is vishanniti iti vishaya. Vishanniti means which ultimately is depressing, frustrating. Those are the things called vishaya. Yes, it is a bit exaggeration, surely, that everything under which we perceive by the senses are not necessarily frustrating, but we have such a strong tendency to indulge in the sense pleasures and sense objects. In respect of that, it is said, ultimately all of this, too much indulgence in all of this is frustrating. They makes us, takes away vitality, leads to frustration and regret. Sometimes, out of the situation we cannot control, and imagine we have eaten a huge piece of a cheesecake, huge piece, it was available and I could not, and it felt amazing for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. After that, I am feeling tired and feeling so much full, and even I might feel guilty for taking so much of cheesecakes. That is the Upanishadic view of overindulging in pleasures. So similarly, in other aspects also, for example, the younger generations, they scroll through social media, they binge watch movies, and they engage in, impulsive shopping. Interestingly, impulsive shopping has increased 74% in US in last 2 years. 74% increase in impulsive shopping. And now they are considering to level impulsive shopping as a mental health disorder, and bring it under DSM IV, that manual. Yeah, so impulsive purchase, then taking high sugar food or drinks, binge watching, scrolling. For the time being, it feels good, but if we can do it too much, we might feel exhausted, even frustrated, and even empty, scattered. And our brains get sometimes overstimulated. That is information overload. Our attention span shrinks, and what once felt to be so exciting soon start feeling like boring. Okay, so that is the point, that all of this indulgence into pleasures ultimately mm, wear down our inner vitality, our mental energy. That is why Nachiketa says, I don't want any of all of this. And he says also, even the whole life is short indeed. From the standpoint of eternity, even a long life is also short life. Okay. Long life is also limited life. It has its constraint. So that's why let your chariots, your dance and music remain with you. It's a powerful statement. Nachiketa is politely but firmly declining all the gifts that Yama is offering. Your music and dance, that is, music, dance, all of these are symbolic of sensual entertainment. And tava, he says, your let your chariot, your dance, your music be with you. Let your thing be with you. I don't want it. Okay. So it is to show the firmness. So Nachiketa sees clearly that pleasures are temporary, śvaḥ-bhāvāḥ. They dull, they make our senses dull. Jarayaṁti. Even the life is brief, short, and I want to know what is beyond this life. So all these delights, all the offers that you have made, offer to me, not worth trading for the boon that I wanted. That what happens after the death. Okay. Any question? Any question about this verse?
It's a comment, Maharaj.
Yes.
That requires a lot of courage to tell Yama, keep all this to yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Keep your things with you. Yes. Yeah. That is only possible when someone has inner conviction, so much of conviction, then only this can be said so firmly. Yeah.
Maharaj, one question. Says tava eva bahaha. In this translation, it says
Uh-huh.
tava bahaha. It means your chariots. Got it.
Uh,
Eva. What is the meaning of eva? Tava
ever. Yeah. Tava,
indeed.
ever means, ever
Indeed.
is a, yeah, ever is a, what, abhaya, which means, um, which belongs to you only. You only. Eva means you only. These things belong to you,
Mhm.
and let it belong to you only. Okay. Tava eva.
Tava.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mm. Yours,
Mhm.
better to say that what is yours, let it be yours.
Mhm.
What is yours, let it be yours. Okay.
Right. Tava. Okay.
All right. Okay, then let's move on next verse. Let's see what Nachiketa else he has to say in support of his refusal to the offers. Second, he says, oh yeah, interesting. 1.27. He says, "Na vittena tarpaṇīyo manuṣyo lapsyāmahe vittam adrākśma chet tva jīviṣyāmo yāvad īśiṣyasi tvaṃ varastu me varaṇīyaḥ sa eva. A human being is not satisfied with wealth alone. Since we have seen you, we may gain wealth. We shall live as long as you permit, but the boon I ask for is that alone and nothing else. Nothing else. So here, Nachiketa shows some pragmatic approach to his to the issue. He does not totally reject all of this. He says, well, if wealth is important, it's needed, then we can have wealth later on, since we have got your grace. What do you think, Yama, right? You'll definitely give me money if I need later on. Similarly, if I want to live a long life, I can think about it later on. What do you think, Yama, right? You have seen me, you have met me. You will definitely grant me a long life, which I can definitely ask anytime, right? But this time, those things are not totally useless. Those things are important. And if I need in future, I will definitely think of, coming to your to your fold again, or approach you again. But right now, I don't want to trade the opportunity, the golden opportunity of learning from you that highest knowledge about what happens after death. Right now, I don't want to trade this opportunity with wealth or long life. And he says something interesting, that tarpaṇīyo, the Indians, Bengalis, they know the word tarpana. Tarpana means satisfaction or fulfillment. Fulfillment. There is a system in many Indian households that on a particular day in a year, they offer tarpana. That is symbolic food offering for the satisfaction of the ancestors. Okay. So tarpana means here, which will bring satisfaction to them, fulfillment to them, that I am trying to offer. It is called tarpana. And it coincides with the Mahalaya, 7 days before Durga Puja. Matri Paksha starts, the end of Pitri Paksha. Then they offer this tarpana. The meaning of the word tarpana is satisfaction. For the satisfaction of our ancestors, we offer something. So Nachiketa used the same word. Now vitta means wealth or possessions. Material wealth cannot alone satisfy the human heart. Otherwise, all the rich people will be uniformly happy, and all the poor people will be uniformly unhappy. But this we know that it is not true. There is no cause and effect relationship between wealth and happiness. No cause and relation. We cannot say. Even a few months ago, probably I shared with you that Scientific American published a study that they found out societies which still live like ancient societies, where there are some societies, even now in Australia and other places, where they don't have currency. They don't have currency for exchange. So they live as a community, and someone is probably cultivating food, then they are exchanging the food in exchange of something else. So they have no standard currency like dollar or anything. And they found these communities, people of these communities are much more happier than wealthy nations. Why? First of all, they live in a community and they feel like, say, 100 people, 150, these are my family. This is my family. A family of 100 people, 150 people. And they interact a lot among themselves. Thirdly, and they live in all of these societies, they live in harmony with nature. They are always in touch with nature, and they are extremely happy if they get the food and the shelter, and they know I have all my friends to support me. And they run all the tests which are deployed to measure well-being, happiness, and life satisfaction. They found these societies who don't have money at all in their bank, there is no such thing called bank in their system, they are much more happier than the so-called wealthy nations. So now vittena tarpaṇīyo, wealth alone cannot make us happy. There is no causal relationship that wealth does not mean I will be happy or satisfied with my life. And in fact, we see that every day. If we look at the global top 10 rich people, all of them we know publicly or privately, their life is full of problems and sorrows, litigations, and whatnot. We need not go into the specifics of these names, but it is evident their life is not so fulfilling as we might think. Even they are also constantly worrying about whether I can retain the post, retain the position. I am now richest person. Can I retain the position, or it will depend upon the stock market? Definitely, stock market decides who is the richest person, because a lot of their wealth is in the stock market. So that is what Nachiketa is telling, that no vittena tarpaṇīyo manuṣyo, that with wealth alone does not guarantee happiness. So we may say happiness does not depend much upon what I have, but happiness depends upon what I am. What I am. This is something important. Not only what I have, we think all happiness depends upon what we have, but more importantly, what I am. And what I am means, how do I think? As I said in the last class, many people think through pockets. Many people think through social status. So this does not guarantee happiness and joy, but rather what I am. If I have clarity of thinking, I will find that clarity of thinking, discipline in my life, and the ability to say when to say no, and not to go beyond certain limits, I will find that these are more important. This is what make me what I am than what I have. I might have all of this, but if I don't have the right kind of mind, right kind of thinking clarity, there will be always troubles in our life, always will be problems. So that is matter. So this line exposes the illusion of the consumer happiness. If we can only consume, it will make happy. So, but money is needed for transactions. Nachiketa also knows that. That's why he says that if he needs wealth in future, Yama will surely help him. Lapsyāmahe vittam adrākśma chet tva. Tva means tam. Since I have met you, wealth will not be a problem. But right now, I don't want any other boon. Similarly, for long life, long life is important. If I need a long life, I have received your favor, probably I will live long. That's all right. But right now, I don't want to go for any other boon than what I originally asked. So it is just like, think of someone who could get anything they wanted: money, long life, fame, and family. And now imagine them that looking it all, and they are saying, no, thanks. I want truth. No thanks, I want truth. That's Nachiketa. Nachiketa. Okay. So here in this verse, Nachiketa says, uh, wealth alone cannot make anyone happy, cannot make satisfy a human being. Okay. Any question or any comment?
Yeah, I have a question, Morris. So isn't
Yes.
that a big assumption on part of Nachiketa that he's saying
Yeah.
that now that I have seen you,
Yeah.
and if I need all those wealth in future, I can get it.
Yes.
But he may deny as well,
Yeah.
Yama.
Yes.
It could be either or. You cannot have,
Yeah.
both the things really. It could be either or. So
Right.
isn't that a big assumption on part of Nachiketa that he's saying that now that I have seen you, I can get wealth
Yeah.
at any time?
Yes. Yes. Nachiketa is quite intelligent, and also Nachiketa is quite straightforward, innocent. So he's also covering all the grounds. So intelligent. He's covering all the grounds that probably since I have met you, probably wealth will not be a problem in future. Okay. He's assuming that he's of course taking a great gamble out of here, but it is not a gamble for him because he's laser sharp focused on what he wants now most. Okay.
Yeah. It seems like on the hindsight of his mind, he's
Yeah.
most interested in the knowledge, and
Yes.
whether
Yes.
the wealth comes or not, it doesn't
It's not
matter.
it's not a matter. At the same time, he does not also offend Yama
Right.
that by turning down all of these in future you should not. For example, Sri Ramakrishna's life. Sri Ramakrishna's averse to money. So once he threw away money, and then the thought occurred to him that Lakshmi, the wealth, the goddess of wealth, I should not offend Lakshmi. Okay, I may not need money, but I should not offend Lakshmi. So Sri Ramakrishna again took the money or the coin and touched in his head. Okay, touch in his head as a way of respecting Lakshmi's gift. I don't want it, but I don't want to offend also Lakshmi. Sri Ramakrishna says that little bit of worldly Vishaya Buddhi, little bit of worldly intelligence entered into me. And I thought, what will happen if Lakshmi gets, angry with me that I have offended her? So he took the coin which he had earlier thrown away and paid him his respect. Similarly, Nachiketa may also think like that. Well, yes, I am rejecting all of these, but I should not offend Yama. I can make a in a middle ground where I keep the option open for future. If I need long life, if I need more wealth, definitely you are here at that time. You will probably help me, sure. But now I don't want to focus on those things. Now my focus is here. Okay, that is what probably Nachiketa's logic was. Yeah. Yeah.
The same token, he says that I'll live as long as you rule. So that could
Yeah.
take a really long time.
Yeah. No, here one thing is important. īśiṣyasi, the word has been translated as long as you rule. Okay. But īśiṣyasi might also mean as long as you wish. That also has the same root, ish. Ish means to rule. Ish means to also desire, wish. So as long as you wish, I will probably live. Okay. So not only as long as you rule, the many books have translated, as long as you rule, so long I will live. But īśiṣyasi might also mean as long as you permit or wish, that long I shall live anyway. Okay. Paul, you were wanting to say?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I know before I've talked to you about the similarities between the story of Nachiketa and Christ.
Okay.
There are some similarities, right?
Yes.
So here is another one. In this episode, Nachiketa is being offered all these enticements by the god of death, and he is unpersuaded by
Yeah.
these enticements because he
Yes.
desires the truth.
Yes.
So this corresponds to the story of Christ going into the wilderness and being tempted by Satan with the temptations of the world,
Okay.
and Christ not being not
Persuaded.
going, not persuaded by it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that just
Yeah.
sort of
Explains.
compounded with the other parallels that we've talked about in the past too, like
Yeah.
the fact that he offers himself as a sacrifice.
Yeah.
His father sends him to the realm of death.
Yeah.
It's all very similar.
Yes. 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 True. Thanks for pointing that out. That in many of the masters' life, we see this kind of play, like temptations there. Buddha was also
Exactly.
also faced a lot of temptations. We find in the life of Sri Ramakrishna during his during the 14 years of intense sadhana, he also had to go through different temptations. But point is, everybody has to face temptations, and these people have the conviction and inner courage to say no to these temptations. Yeah. So Nachiketa is just another example or model for that lesson. Yes. So can we move on to the next verse? Okay, good. All right. So logics he is giving, one is they are all temporary. They will not live. They will be here only till tomorrow. They will not only that, these sense enjoyments, all of these ultimately frustrate, and sometimes overindulgence leave bad taste in our mind. We regret all of this. And here he said that wealth alone cannot satisfy a human being. Then he now asks a question which is as if he is surprised. He is surprised. Nachiketa is surprised. Nachiketa says, ajīryatām amritāṇām upetya jīriyān martah ka dhah-sthaḥ prajanan avidhyayan varṇa-rati-pramodān ati dirghe jīvite kaha rameta. Who is that fool? He thinks. Who is the fool? Having approached those who are undecaying, the immortal ones, how could a decaying mortal still in the realm of death, who knows this truth, and having reflected upon the transitory nature of pleasure, of form, of sense enjoyment and delight, how could such a person find joy in a long life? Who is that person who, having met a illumined person like you, those who have the immortal, they have the knowledge of immortality. So who is that person that meeting who is that person, one who meets a teacher like you, and then also who has seen through all of the unsatisfactory nature of these pleasures, and at the same time they want to live long life or indulge in enjoyments alone, and does not want to know about the secret, doesn't want to know about the secret. So that is he is surprised. He is asking this question. So in this verse, Nachiketa is philosophically rejection. He says, avidhyayan, having carefully reflected, having carefully contemplated, what? The transitory nature of beauty, of sense enjoyment and delights. If someone who has done careful reflection, then they will find that this beauty and sense enjoyments and delights, these are all what he has said earlier, that these are all for some time, and mm, they all will come to an end. And so this reflection is important. This is the important thing of this verse, anudhyayan, having reflected. Why it is important, reflection? Reflection is important because it is not possible to go through all the experiences, all the enjoyments, and then come to the conclusion that they are unfulfilling. We need to contemplate, we need to see our own life experiences, that whatever so far we have tried to pursue in outer world, they brought joy, but very soon everything became normal again. We don't feel the same joy in the same things as we did for first few months. Okay, first few months we had joy about this, and with this job, with this house, with this location, with this neighborhood, we feel thrilled. But very soon they become normal. They become normal. Okay, so now we have to then extrapolate this logic to all kind of joys, all kind of pleasures. It is not possible to enjoy all of the things in the world, but we can, through contemplation, through thinking, we can come to the same conclusion. That is why Nachiketa says, who is that person? One who has reflected upon the unsatisfactory, transitory nature of these pleasures, of these delights, of these sensual enjoyments. They have reflected upon and found they are not satisfactory. At the same time, such a person, having understood the transitory nature of this enjoyment, if such a person now meets a illumined person like you, who can teach what is beyond life and death, who will choose, who will deny any other boon than to know about the secret of life? Who will choose in its place a long life? Would you want a long life of enjoyment, or would you want this piece of wisdom, what happens after death? So Nachiketa says, I cannot imagine, wrap my mind around that who is that foolish person who, having contemplated the unsatisfactory nature of pleasures, and who, having come across a person like you who is immortal, and still they want to live a life, a long life of enjoyments. That is such a wonder to me, such a surprise to me. Anudhyayan. So this is very important, contemplation about that. So with the power of reflection. And I would like to, I am not a good storyteller, but I would really love to tell you a story at this point. I read the story just yesterday. So I connected with my elementary school friend who is a teacher now. And we decided we shall talk every month, once a month, and discuss philosophical things, spiritual things, questions, answers, their perspective, my perspective. So, and I came to know about this story, probably you have read, by Anton Chekhov. The story is The Bet. Have you read The Bet by Anton Chekhov? The story is like this, that it was in Russia and there was a rich banker. Okay. Listen to this story very carefully because this story is very startling. Okay. And what is the takeaway of the story will depend upon who is listening. Okay. So each of us will have our own interpretation of the story, moral of the story. The story is like that. In Russia, there was a rich banker, and he was in favor of capital punishment than life imprisonment. He thought that capital punishment was much more humane. You want to kill the person in a few seconds. Why let the person suffer to such a long life of imprisonment? Okay. Rather, kill the person, suffering, end it soon, quickly. So he was of this opinion, and once he threw a party in his house, the big house, and he was a rich banker, and he invited many intellectuals and elites of the society, and they all while talking about, and some people say no. I would say we would say that life imprisonment is better. Some say that living life at any condition is better than no life at all. Living at any condition is better than no life at all. So this went on, and there was a lawyer, young lawyer, 25-year-old. So this banker asked him, "What do you think about it?" He said, "Oh, I am in favor of life imprisonment." Why? He said the same logic that, I believe living under any even bad condition is better than not to live at all. And so this exchange became heated, and this banker, really at the heat of the moment, his ego was hurt. He said, "Okay, I can bet you. Can you live such a life of life imprisonment for 5 years? If you can live 5 years of such a life, I will give you 2 million rubles if you can live such a life." The lawyer, 25-year-old young, he said, "I can live 15 years, in 15 years in life imprisonment if you give me 2 million rubles. So, okay, let's have the bet. Okay. So, in front of everybody, there was this bet. So then they were finishing their dinner, and this banker was telling this young man that, "Young man, you don't know what a hell the life will be like. Okay. Because I offered 5 years and you choose 15 years. And you will see what pain is there in voluntary imprisonment." Voluntary, because every moment you will have this regret that if I only chose not to, it was not mandatory. You chose voluntarily this life, this painful life. So every moment you will regret your decision. That is a great, not only the suffering of life imprisonment, but this regret of each moment that why did I choose such a thing? This will also make you suffer more. Okay. The young lawyer did not say anything. So he made the arrangement, not life imprisonment, but in his big house, at the corner, there is a garden wing. In that garden wing, there is a room, a small solitary room, which will be locked. And this lawyer can never interact with the world. If he will have only a very small window to look outside, but he cannot meet anybody, he cannot talk to anybody, he cannot receive any letter, he cannot receive any news of the world. But he can write letters, he can read as many books he likes, and he can have any type of wine, any amount of wine will be provided to him. Tobacco will be provided to him, and reasonable amount of food will be given to him. And also there will be a musical instrument, a piano in the room he can play. But he cannot talk to anybody, cannot interact with anybody, cannot see anybody, cannot receive any communication from outside. So what happened? After 1 year, everybody heard that this person was, like shouting, and he was just feeling boring this life and impossible to live. So he was playing lot of piano to keep himself engaged. Then in the next year, he ordered foods and different types of wines and lot of cigarettes and tobaccos. And he found that what is these wines, um, it makes life worse. When wine goes, then the desires which I cannot fulfill, they suddenly raise their heads. So after wine, having beautiful wine, all those what I am missing, this becomes more important. Besides, what is the point of having a good wine if I have to consume it alone? There is nobody to share this drink with. Plus tobacco. I have seen smoking of tobacco. The room smells foul. I have only fouled my room. Okay. So this also cannot help. Music is also okay up to some time. So then he wanted books. So novels, romantic novels. He was given all these romantic novels and books which are light reading. He read 3 years, 4 years. After 5th year, he asked for the classics of the books. He was given. So he spent the 6th and 7th year reading all the classics. After 7th year, he asked for only one book. Give me New Testament. And this man, the banker who was providing him, he thought, well, in the last 4 years, he read 600 volumes of different books. And in 1 year, he's reading only one book, New Testament. Strange. After the 7th year, he asked for books to learn other languages. And so in next 2 years, he learned 6 languages. And flawlessly, he wrote a letter to this banker, and he wrote the same paragraph in 6 languages and asked him, show this to the experts of these languages. And if there is no mistake, arrange for a gunfire so that hearing the gunfire, I can understand my learning of the languages were complete. Indeed, they said the flawless, the language he has written in these languages, his knowledge of the language is flawless. So a gun salute was given next day, or gunfire, and he was happy to learn that. Then he asked for all the books on theology and philosophy and history of religions, and he read all of them. Then after 8th year, 9th year, he asked for again wine, tobacco, and food. And again, he indulged for 6 months. Okay. And for the last few years, he became quiet. He was not asking for anything. He was just living alone in his life. Now, like this, almost 12 years have passed. And now, during these 12 years, this banker, because of his reckless life and his desire to enjoy life, he has lost a lot of money. He's now no longer the rich banker. 2 million rubles is now all that he has. It is his life savings now. So he is thinking, because of this bet, this guy will now go away with all that I have, live a happy life, and I will be living a miserable life. So only way I can undo it is to kill the person. If I can kill the person in such a way that I don't look like a murderer, then I can save my money. So today, the 12 years is going to end at night 12. At midnight, this 12 hours is going to end. Before that, I have to do something about it. So and it was a snowy day. It was snowing heavily, nowhere around. He went out, asked for the watchman. Watchman was nowhere. So he said, that's the opportunity. If I kill this person now, watchman will be one of the suspect. Okay, because watchman is nowhere. So he goes and opens the garden wing and goes near the room, solitary room, and looks through the window. He looks through the window, he sees that this young man is sitting. And this is the first time he is seeing this young man after 12 years. So he looks through the window and sees this man. Now he is 40, but he looks emaciated, like very old. He has long hair now, long beard, and his complexion is now yellow, looking very morbid, as if no strength is there. This man is sitting on his table with his head on his hands. So this man slowly enters, opens the door and enters the room. And he thinks this person is now so weak, so emaciated, so pale, that I can easily throw this person into the bed and just smother him with the pillow. He will die immediately. He does not have the strength to resist me. If I just smother him with the pillow, he will die. And also it will look like a natural death, right? So he was thinking like that. Then he saw a piece of paper on the table and something is scribbled on the paper. So he takes the paper. He says, let me see what he has written. So this man, young man, lawyer, he has written that today at night, I'm going to complete 12 years. And through these last 12 years, through all the books of the world, I have seen through all kind of enjoyments. I have gone to wonderful beaches. I have scaled the Everest. I have been to all the fabulous places in my mind's eyes. I have seen what could be the highest of pleasure. That also I have read. I have also read how a religion is born, how a same religion dies, how new nations are conquered, and even the big nations also fall. All of this. And after reading all of this, I have come to the conclusion that this world is unsatisfactory. I have no liking for all of these pleasures that is available in the world. So I also, as a protest to this kind of life, the worldly life, I am also rejecting the 2 million rubles. Before 5 minutes before 12, I will run away. And it was one of the conditions in the bet that if he tries to run away, even for 2 minutes, then this bet will no longer be valid. If he tries to run away even before 2 minutes of completing 12 years, he cannot claim the 2 million rubles. So he says, 5 minutes before the clock strikes 12, I will escape the window and keep your money with you and be happy. I don't want any of this. So this man, the banker takes the letter with him, goes back to his room, and somehow, after much effort, sleeps. And in the morning, he hears from his watchman that, look, the man who was confined, he ran away through the windows. So this man then kept this letter, took this letter and kept it in his most secret place, the safe room, the safe closet where he used to keep his money, and he kept that letter in that place. So what is the moral of this story? What is the moral of the story? That in these 12 years, this lawyer, indulging in everything, what he got. And this person apparently going through such a miserable life, what he got. Okay. So my friend asked me, what is your takeaway of the story? So I told my friend that after 15 years of tapas, of seclusion, and sadhya, deep study and reflection, intense dispassion, vairagya, arose in this lawyer's mind. And he understood that real happiness, real wealth is within, not anywhere else. So that's what I replied, and my friend said, "Excellent, excellent," because it is part of the syllabus in the school. So while teaching this story to the students, probably this might help my friend. So interesting story is to think about. And I was seeing that Nachiketa also doing the same thing, or keep your 2 million rubles with you. I don't want any of these. Okay. Wonderful story. It's available online. Very short story, 4-page. The Bet by Anton Chekhov. Okay. So Nachiketa also does the same thing, that not necessarily I have to go through, not necessarily I have to enjoy all of these things first person, not that I have to be a king and then understand that all of this is unfulfilling. But through reflection, through study, through sadhya, through deep contemplation, Nachiketa also arrived at the same conclusion as our lawyer. That lawyer arrived at the conclusion. So I told this story to highlight the importance of the word avidhyayan, one who has thought carefully, one who has contemplated carefully. For such a person, what could be more important than the spiritual knowledge? Okay. All right. So finally, Nachiketa says, this is the last verse. Nachiketa says in favor of why he is rejecting. The final verse he says, Yasmin idam bichikisanti mrityo yat samparaye mahati bruhi nahatat yaha ayam baraha gudam anupravishtaha na anyam tasmat nachiketaha brinite. O death, this is the subject on which there is doubt. What happens after death? Tell us of that great hereafter. This boon is deeply hidden and subtle. Nachiketa chooses no other boon in its place. Okay. So he says that this knowledge is extremely valuable and about which there is doubt. You yourself said that this is the great truth. And bruhi naha, he says, tell us, not tell me. He suddenly here asks in all of our humanity, as a representative all of our humanity, he says, tell us what is that truth. And it is important because you said that it is very difficult to understand. It is subtle. This knowledge about self is subtle and it's difficult to understand. So it is deeply hidden. It is hidden, not only hidden, but deeply hidden, esoteric. So such a boon, which is esoteric, deeply hidden, other than that, Nachiketa does not want anything else. Nachiketa, he says, Nachiketa does not want anything else. Shankaracharya says here that probably this verse was Upanishad itself. Nachiketa, Upanishad is saying that Nachiketa does not want anything else. Probably it may be Nachiketa did not say like this, that Nachiketa does not like anything. Probably Upanishad is commenting upon that Nachiketa does not want anything else. Okay. This is the thing. So this is the spiritual reflection. And now Yama can no longer refuse. So Nachiketa has given all the compelling reasons why he needs to hear about that truth. So Yama's all these tactics, tricks did not work. Now Yama has to really answer. Before answering or before instructing Nachiketa, he first praises Nachiketa. That we shall see. New chapter will start where Yama starts Nachiketa for choosing the Shreya over Preya. He introduces the concept of Shreya and Preya. Shreya is what is really good. Preya is what feels good. And Yama now will praise Nachiketa first. Before giving any instruction, he will praise Nachiketa that there are only few people, wise people, who chooses the real good over what feels good. You, Nachiketa, are among the rarest ones who prefers Shreya over Preya. So now I shall teach you. Okay, that teaching will begin. So next week is Friday, is 4th July. So we won't have the class because I have to go to Berkeley. On 4th July, our Berkeley Center has a day-long retreat. This time the theme is Swami Vivekananda in Northern California. So at least 8 or 9 monks will be there. Each will be speaking about different aspects of Swami Vivekananda's stay in the Northern California. And my topic is influence of Swami Vivekananda's personality in the San Francisco Bay Area. So on that day, we cannot have class because the time we shall return will be around 8 or so. But I have a homework for you, okay? A homework. That is my favorite homework for you. I have 3 questions for you, easy questions, but just go through them. The questions is from verse 1.28, 21 to 29, last 10 verses. First of all, what did Yama offer Nachiketa to distract him? What were the offers? How Yama tried to distract Nachiketa. Second, what are the insights and reasons Nachiketa gives to reject them? The reasons and insights Nachiketa. Finally, how can we apply Nachiketa's wisdom in our daily life? Through the whole first chapter, Nachiketa has shown us some insights about life, his wisdoms. Now, how we can apply those wisdoms which we find in Nachiketa in our day-to-day life? Can we? Is there anything we can learn from Nachiketa and apply in our life? These will be the 3 questions. And as always, not mandatory. It is voluntary. Think about it. Write it down if you like. Share with me beforehand if you don't want to speak in the class, but you are welcome to share. And as we have seen that from this sharing, we learn a lot from each other, right? Everybody has their perspective and we come to know so much. So I will encourage you to share in the class your thoughts about it. Okay. And that is what I look forward to. Okay. And so the next class will be on 11th of July. 11th of July. Okay. Any question? Go ahead and ask question or any comments.
Yes, Maharaj, question.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to think about similar situations, like when Swamiji met Sri Ramakrishna, and his questions were more focused on God realization, really. Have you seen God?
Yeah.
Or Thakur said, yeah, I can show you God, really. And in this case, Nachiketa, he had 3 boons, but I don't see that he's asking anything of that sort, really. Just he's asking really that what happens after death, really. So I'm from my very simplistic view of my mind, I'm thinking that is he under asking really? He could have as well asked for really, I want to realize the ultimate experience really. And that's what I want really as a boon really. So instead of going that route, he went rather another way really. That's what happens after death. It seems to me it is a kind of a stepping stone. This ask is kind of a stepping stone. What happens after death? Definitely, that's a required part. But still a long way to go after that, which is not asking for. So why this kind of difference I see in the same philosophical context in Indian philosophy, that here comes the Katha Upanishad, and where we see Sri Ramakrishna and Vivekananda's life. So it looks like they are kind of different, really. And just trying to think about that. Why it looks like they are not converging.
Yes. It's a good question. And the answer is no, you know what? The answer is that was Nachiketa's burning question at that time. So if it's a burning question, we don't ask, is this the highest question or not? Burning questions comes from heart. That was Nachiketa's burning questions. What happens after death? And that will lead him to actually the idea of Atma and all of this. Okay. For example, many of us came to Vedanta, not per se of Vedanta. We had some other question. That led us to, one question led to another, that led to Vedanta. So it will be, it will not be proper to say that, well, you did not have the right question at the beginning. Okay, many of the people who comes to Vedanta, I have seen they come through yoga. They liked yoga, Hatha yoga. Okay, Hatha yoga they liked. They wanted to know, more about the philosophy of yoga. They came to know about Patanjali yoga. Then they found Swami Vivekananda's Raja Yoga. They liked them, Raja Yoga. Then they found, here we find Swami Vivekananda is talking more than Raja Yoga. He's talking about Atma, God, freely into Raja Yoga. Then they came across, say, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna or Swami Vivekananda's other books or Vedanta per se. Okay. But if they did not have that burning question, what is more in Patanjali Yoga, we cannot dismiss them. Well, you know what? You are under asking. You can ask even better things. But this under asking is the genuine asking, genuine question. Okay. So at that time, Nachiketa had this genuine question to know what happens after death. And this question, he was so steadfast about knowing that this itself takes him to the truth. Okay. So both are great in their own places. Swami Vivekananda did not have doubt about what happens after death. He was not interested in that. But he wanted to know, can God be seen? Or it is all our figments of mind. We are just imagining. We are deluding ourselves. That was his burning question. That's why he asked the question to Sri Ramakrishna, Sir, have you seen God? Swami Vivekananda did not ask, is Atma is equal to Brahma? Because this did not, although Swami Vivekananda was very well conversed with the idea of Upanishads, Atma, Brahma, he could have asked, is Atma Brahma? Is Atma infinite? But that was not his question. The question that was really bothering him, have you seen God? Because I am asking this question and everybody is beating around the bush. And here he found first time someone said, yes, I have seen God. As a matter of fact, without making it dramatic, as a matter of fact, someone says, yes, I have seen God. God can be seen as I am seeing you, only more clearly. But who wants to see God? Okay. So it may appear Nachiketa's question is not at par with Swami Vivekananda's question, but both of them were coming from one particular places. And for both of them, these questions were burning questions, okay, which led to truth. Okay, led to truth. So, Nachiketa.
Thanks for expounding on that. Now, I have thinking from a different angle a little bit. Is it that this particular Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, really, it is addressing a very important aspect of our development, our towards the ultimate goal, like knowing what happens after death, really. It's a very important part. But, different Upanishads, they're dealing with different problems, different questions. So can I think like that all these Upanishads really totally putting together, like all these Mahabhaktas, they are also coming from the Upanishads, for Mahabhakta. So basically, we should not take, it is that the whole package of Upanishad, when you go through, so basically it is a complete package, and it should not be seen that is a one only Katha Upanishad itself is just one entity which is trying to address everything. But it's rather that we have to read through the whole package, and then probably the total gamut of knowledge comes to us.
Yeah, in a way it is true. Each Upanishad has their own angle, approach to truth, but ultimately all of them are saying the same truth. That there is an undecaying thing in our personality. We are not only this limited being, and what is unlimited in us is the same in everyone. The oneness of our in spirituality. The same message is being told by different Upanishads. But if you ask any of these Upanishads independently, alone is sufficient. It is not that we have to read all the Upanishad, then have to have the full gamut of knowledge, then only you can proceed. Okay. Any of these Upanishad, if pursued correctly and with right frame of mind, each of them is sufficient for our purpose. Each of them.
Really? So we don't have to...
No, we don't have to. Not at all. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example. One sadhu came to the Kineshwar. He had a big book. And Sri Ramakrishna wanted to know what scripture he is reading. Others read so many books. He went to that monk and he was attracted to the monk, seeing his life. So many monks and spiritual aspirants used to come to the Kineshwar, but not all of them were of same quality. Sri Ramakrishna could understand from the behavior, from the day-to-day lifestyle, who are really advanced people. So this monk, Sri Ramakrishna was really fascinated about. It comes in gospel. So Sri Ramakrishna goes and wanted to see what is the scripture this monk is reading. And he finds out that he has a book, a notebook, where only one word is repeated. Rama, Rama, Rama. He was a lover of Rama. That is the only book he had. He'll open and read Rama, 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 Rama over. So, to be honest, ideologically or ideally, each Upanishad, each scripture alone is sufficient. But we have such a thing called intellectual curiosity, our own doubts, which appear as, doubts. We think that it is intellectual doubt, intelligent doubt. That's why we have to read a lot, to quench that thirst. That is a different thing. But on its own, each Upanishad, even one Mahavakya, forget about Upanishad, one small sentence, that if can approach properly, right way, that itself is sufficient for the right kind of knowledge. Okay.
So Maharaj, I had many questions probably.
Okay, we shall have. Let's have some other questions. You will get a lot of chances to ask. Keep your questions we shall take all the questions. Okay. But I see also other raised hands.
Sure,
okay.
sure. Please, please, please.
Rick, go ahead, Rick.
Tonight, I had the thought about Yama, and I had my thought about him was small. And tonight, I began to think about the field of death. And I also understand it now biblically too. Thank you, Paul. But he's talking, I don't have all the words, but death, not as in the death of the rabbit or the tree, but the field of death,
yes.
which the manifest field, all of this is the field of death. The one that we are living in is actually the field of death. And the field beyond is the field of life. And so they say Lord of death. They're talking about the manifest field.
Yes.
All of this. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not only about death, it is about the realm of death. The realm. So we are all in the realm of death. That is called mortal.
We live in the realm of death. Everything here dies.
Yes, yes. Mortal. And that is what Nachiketa also says. Who is that person who lives in the realm of death and comes across a person who lives in a world beyond death and still does not want to ask this question, how to go beyond death? Okay. So Yama is all about the realm of death. Okay.
Which is this one?
Yama.
The one we occupy, the one that we breathe in. This is the field of death.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dying every moment.
Every moment.
Yeah. And who else have... yes, Purni, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a comment that, the irony of this all is the counterpoint is of a long life and immortality. So immortality is considered knowledge, right? Or the knowledge that we are immortal is the big secret, or the big
question.
Is the big that is the issue. So the irony is that he is foregoing a long life, or a life without death, so to speak.
Yeah.
To get the knowledge that in fact you are already immortal.
Yes. Yes.
And this question is being asked from the god of death. Why was this not being asked to some other deities, so to speak? So the irony is like so strong in all of this that today it just like kind of hit me. Like, it's like, on one hand, the god of immortality is giving you immortality in a sense, but it's immortality in this mortal fear. So the irony is there, and I think that's what I got from today's class. So I just thought I'd share that.
Yes, yes, irony. Subhash, you...
Maharaj, I was just thinking about similar story, Yayati story, that in that case he actually experiences long life, actually even longer with his son's life, and then he comes to a conclusion that so Nachiketa's brilliance is without going through all the experience. He just his intellect, he comes at the same time.
Yeah. There's a billionaire investor in San Francisco Bay Area. His name is Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel. He's famous because he's the one who is seriously thinking about becoming immortal. Okay. Longevity. So for many years, he had been changing his plasma of blood from his own son's blood. He was infusing. Then his grandson's blood. And he was spending about $10 million a year for longevity. And recently he concluded all of this is bogus. all of this is wastage of money. Peter Thiel came to that conclusion, So it's a reincarnation of yayati. Reincarnation of yayati. All of this is useless. Peter Thiel commented recently. All right, so we shall see you on 11 July with 3 questions in mind, and think about it, and then we'll see a new chapter in the Upanishad. Okay. All right. Let's close here and let's say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. I would also encourage you to go online and read the story, The Bet. I could not tell it in a graphical details, but you will enjoy it when you read it. Okay. Okay. Have a good week ahead. 4th July. Happy 4th July to all of you.